Republic TV. Republic TV. Republic TV.
Thank you for joining us on this special broadcast here on Republic TV. It's a terror plot that's been in the making for many, many years. In fact, for 10 years now. The story is known. The Copenhagen terror attack was thwarted in 2010. What we knew so far is the role of David Coleman Headley, who wrecked Copenhagen, who wrecked the offices of a newspaper that was to be targeted. But for the first time today, Republic TV will expose how the ISI was also involved in the plot. It's a special story breaking here on Republic TV with our entire team of reporters, a story that's being broken by Republic TV's editor Samya Brata Ray. Let's quickly go across to Ridhamanand Bardwaj and Sakal Bhatt, who are joining us on this broadcast along with our team of reporters as we tell you the story first, and we'll give you the minute details of how Pakistan's ISI had a hand in plotting the terror attack that was to be at Copenhagen in December 2010. Sakal and Rhythm.
That's right, Niranjan. For the first time ever, a direct link has now been proven between the ISI of Pakistan and global terrorism beyond India. So far in India, it was only assumed that Pakistan Army and the ISI carried out and sponsored terrorist attacks in India. But now, for the first time, Republic TV has proof, concrete proof that links the Pakistan Army and the Pakistan Army's ISI to an act of terrorism planned in Europe and thwarted at the last minute.
Absolutely, Rhythm and Niranjan. And today on Republic TV this afternoon, we have this big proof, solid proof that any Indian television news channel could have ever had, but it's only your channel that will expose Pakistan Army and how Pakistani Army was actually aware and played a role in planning. Yes, Pakistan Army played a role in planning terror attacks, and that too in Copenhagen. And the ISI here is the keynote of global terrorism, part of a ring across the world helping terrorists carrying out attacks day in and day out on innocent people across the world. Remember, this is Republic Super Exclusive.
On November 26, 2008, Pakistan began the attack on Mumbai. In 3 days, 166 people were killed, an event that India will neither forgive nor forget.
क्या सूरत है काशा?
मेरे ख्याल ऊपर टीम उतार दी गई है।
हाँ, तीनों छत के ऊपर 15 बंदे उतरे हैं हेलीकॉप्टर के जरिए।
अच्छा, तो ये खिड़कियों से सामने से नजर आ रहा है, खिड़कियों के सामने खड़े के लड़े।
क्या कह रहे हैं आप?
हमारे खिड़कियों पे।
David Coleman Headley, the main executor of the attacks, seen here in his jail cell in the USA, remained a free man much after 26/11. Emboldened, he came back to India, targeted 34 locations for Hafiz Saeed for possible future attacks. He also went around the world as some kind of an expert in targeted terror strikes.
This is the famous concert hall.
Like this surveillance video of Headley in Denmark,
King Square.
looking for places to attack.
Really busy. There's a cycle road, bicycle. Bus standing there. King Square. It's full of ice in the winter. It's a beautiful ice skate.
But his main target was this newspaper office of the Jyllands-Posten, a newspaper that in 2005 had published cartoons portraying the Prophet. Till today, the world has known Headley as a freelance terrorist, motivated by hate against non-Muslims in India, an American double agent who went rogue. That's not the truth. The truth is that the ISI had by 2008 become ambitious in carrying out terror attacks around the world. On 23rd December, 3 weeks after 26/11, the ISI and Headley were planning what they called the Mickey Mouse Project. It was an attack on the Copenhagen newspaper, and planning the attack was the then ISI chief, a man called General Shuja Pasha. Pasha, ambitious and ruthlessly fanatic, was operating through an agent called Abdul Rahman Pasha. And it's the emails between David Headley and the ISI that we are now revealing. It's 23rd December 2008. At 7 minutes past 10, David Headley, using a morbid email, impervious to pain @yahoo.com, writes to the ISI's Abdul Rahman Pasha, who uses the sinister codename of Scorpion 6. He says,
Thank you for your very late response. Over here in the city where Book Bhai lives, they came to his house asking about Ismail. They said nothing serious, just want to ask some questions. We should find out if Wasi is also their guest or not, along with Chacha if we can. Send me the info on the Mickey Mouse project later when I tell you. For now, should I leave here early or around the 14th like previously planned? Do that special thing you do and tell me. Keep trying for the plot, please. Bye, Dave.
On the same day, at 4:35 in the afternoon Pakistan time, the ISI replies,
Dear, all happening to your friends is superficial. Don't worry, here everything is normal, but Chacha can reveal some facts about Ismail on pressure. Do you understand? I have discussed the matter with my cousin. He gave me some details about a businessman in Sweden who's a native of M2, which can be of great help. Luckily, he's in same business like us. He has contacts in the north. If you want details, I will send later. Take care.
in Copenhagen, the intel agencies have no clue of the Headley ISI plan to bomb the city. See Headley's mail again. He's asking the ISI for details of the Mickey Mouse project. Look at this line. See the next line. He's asking the ISI for permission on his travel plans. Look at this line. Remember, this is 2.5 years before Osama bin Laden was killed. The ISI was shielding Osama in Abbottabad, and Hafiz Saeed wanted an attack in Europe after 26/11 to emerge as a global terror power center. In this context, see what the ISI's Scorpion 6 handle writes back to Headley. It says the matter, meaning the Mickey Mouse project or the Copenhagen attack, was discussed within the ISI. And contacts in Sweden were being organized with someone in the same jihadi terrorist link, referred to as the same business, with contacts in the north, meaning contacts in Europe. The emails we are using to expose the ISI are part of a detailed track of emails, more than 90 in all, that Republic has access to. We will reveal more on the 26/11 plot and connect the dots using these emails. But for now, the undeniable proof is on record. Proof that the ISI is a foil for the Al-Qaeda and the Lashkar. Osama, like Hafiz Saeed, is just an asset of the ISI. Copenhagen was foiled just in time. On 29th December 2010, 5 arrests were made, and the media, thinking Headley was the only link, spoke of how this was to be a Mumbai-style attack on the Danish newspaper. It's only now that we will know the main man planning the Copenhagen attack was the man now advising the government of the United Arab Emirates, General Shuja Pasha of the ISI. Samya Brata, Republic TV.
Well, Rhythm and Sakal, and to all our reporters and our viewers joining us on this breaking story. Now, we have all the papers, we have all the mails. In fact, this is the entire list of mails. For the first time ever, for the first time since 26/11, for the first time since, all the hearings and all the court proceedings and every legal process that's been underway, for the first time ever, we have the full sequence of mails that were exchanged between David Headley, the ISI handlers, men from the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Now, all of these mails are with Republic TV. But the one mail that Republic TV has highlighted today is of this Copenhagen terror attack. A mail that tells you that the ISI was directly in touch with Headley to carry out the Copenhagen terror attack. This is the mail that Republic TV has just broadcast. We'll also play the excerpts of the mail. This is a mail that's never come out before. The media has quoted it from deposition, but nobody has been able to get the full access to the email, and nobody's been able to draw the ISI link to the Copenhagen terror attack. 5 people were arrested for the Copenhagen terror attack in 2010, December 2010. But nobody has been able to access this one email, and Republic TV is putting out that email today. Sakal and Rhythm, let me read out from that email, and we'll go across to our reporters. We're also getting in some breaking reactions to the story. But first, the email accessed by Republic TV. Written on the 23rd of December 2008, this is an exclusive email that's been accessed by Republic TV for the first time ever on Indian television. 23rd December 2008, 10 a.m. Scorpion 6, subject, Pasha. Thank you for your very late response. The email, by the way, written by David Coleman Headley. Thank you for your very late response. Over here in the city where Bhuk Bhai lives, they came to his house asking about Ismail. They said nothing serious, just wanted to ask some questions. We should find out if Wasi is also there. For now, should I leave guest or not along with Chacha? Chacha is Hafiz Saeed. Send me the info on the Mickey Mouse project. The Mickey Mouse project mentioned here, Rhythm and Sakal, is a reference to the Copenhagen terror attack, which Headley himself has confessed to the court. He also talks about Chacha. Chacha is Hafiz Saeed. You have Mickey Mouse project, which is the Copenhagen terror attack, code name for Copenhagen terror attack. You have Chacha, the reference to Hafiz Saeed as confessed by David Coleman Headley. And you have the man he's writing to, the Scorpion 6. This is Major Ahmad Pasha, the ISI handler. So for the first time ever, you have the direct link between, let me highlight that. This is the ISI mail. You have Chacha, who's Saeed. And you have the Mickey Mouse project, which is the Copenhagen terror attack. So for the first time, you have ISI, Hafiz Saeed, and the Copenhagen terror attack link. This is a mail that's never come out before. In fact, this is a mail that also got a response from the ISI handler. And he spoke about, he said, all happenings to your friends is superficial. A reference that Saeed is fine. There will be no action taken against him. Don't worry here, everything is normal, but Chacha can reveal some facts about Ismail on pressure. He was talking about a time when Chacha, in this case Hafiz Saeed, can reveal some facts. So remember, Hafiz Saeed was under pressure, under scanner in 2008 towards December, and the ISI guy was telling David Coleman Headley that Saeed could reveal some facts about Ismail on pressure. I have discussed the matter with my cousin. He gave me some details about a businessman in Sweden. The businessman in Sweden, he's talking about references and contacts in Sweden, would eventually try to attack the Highlands-Posten newspaper in Copenhagen, who's a native of M2, which can be of great help. Luckily, he's in the same business like us. So for the first time, we have an email correspondence between the ISI and David Coleman Headley, proving that David Coleman Headley was directly in touch with ISI as he was trying to plot and trying to give the plan to ISI. Remember, he had already done a recce. The videos are also with Republic as part of that news report. David Coleman Headley carried out a recce. He went to Copenhagen on several occasions, more than 2 occasions. He went there. He recce'd these locations that were to be attacked by these 5 people who were eventually arrested. And then he did all of this on the behest of the ISI. So essentially, the headline, Pakistan's agency ISI, for the first time, linked to the Copenhagen terror attack. The proof is with Republic TV, a mail that's never come out before. Rhythm and Sakal, let's go across to our reporters as well. Shavan and Aditya are also joining us on this story. Well, Aditya, if you've seen this, I think it's big because India's case just got stronger against not just Pakistan and Lashkar-e-Toiba, but also against the ISI.
Absolutely, Niranjan. This is a massive news break. For the first time on Indian television, we are breaking a letter of the direct communication between the ISI and, of course, David Coleman Headley. We knew about ISI's role in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir and how it is swimming venom and also, financing and providing weapons to Lashkar-e-Toiba and other terror groups. But now, undeniable proof of how they were hatching a conspiracy to have a terror attack in Copenhagen, Denmark. This also proves that they had assets, on-ground assets and resources all across Europe, because they wanted to provide that assets and resources to David Coleman Headley to hatch that conspiracy against a newspaper in Denmark, in Copenhagen. We have reached out to Denmark for a statement on this. They are monitoring our news update and the letter that we have mentioned, but this has larger repercussions because Pakistani state, the ISI and the then ISI chief, Lieutenant General Shuja Pasha, was involved in this conspiracy for a global terror attack. Joining me is Snehesh also. Snehesh, what do you make of this? Global plot of the ISI's terror link exposed at a time when Hafiz Saeed has been released. So Hafiz Saeed should be immediately arrested, but there should be some expose, some investigation against the ISI as well.
Absolutely, there is no doubt. Hafiz Saeed should go back to jail. But what this letter, exclusively accessed by Republic, clearly shows is that ISI's terror network is not aimed just at India. It is actually aimed across the globe. What this clearly shows is that ISI, the intelligence arm of the Pakistani military, is the fountainhead of most terror activities happening across the world, be it in Afghanistan, be it in India, be it in Denmark, or be it in the US. You can clearly establish the ISI footprints in the global terror module, the global terror world.
No doubt that the US is concerned. US has given a last opportunity to Pakistan to prove its intent and take decisive action against Lashkar-e-Toiba after the release of Hafiz Saeed. But clearly, this latest revelation and the email for the first time for the common people to see, not just in India, but in Pakistan as well, what the ISI really is doing. Not just spewing venom and funding terror against India and the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir, but planning and conspiring a global terror attack. Shouldn't European countries and countries across the globe be concerned about what Pakistan is really doing, funding Islamist terror against India and against several other countries, including Denmark?
Okay, we're getting some breaking news. In fact, we spoke to Ujjwal Nikam. Ujjwal Nikam, the 2611 public prosecutor, will try and play out those reactions as well, because the code names here are important. The code names and the people who are interacting with David Headley are important, because that tells you the story of who these people really are. And Shavan, what are you picking up from the NIA? What is the NIA? I know that you're trying to get in touch with them. By the way, Republic TV is also written to the Danish government, to the Denmark government. We'll try and get the first reaction from Copenhagen as well to the story broken on Republic TV about the ISI having a direct role in planning, in plotting the Copenhagen terror attack of 2010. To tell our viewers the story in perspective, in 2008, just before the 2611 attacks, David Coleman Headley, also called a double agent, was in India doing recce for the Mumbai attacks. Around the same period, he was doing recce for Pakistan's Lashkar-e-Toiba and for Pakistan's ISI, the spy agency ISI. He went to Copenhagen on several trips. He conducted recce of the targets, in this case the Highland Posten, which is a leading newspaper in Denmark, which had then published objectionable pictures of the Prophet in 2005. They were planning a revenge attack. David Coleman Headley goes there, conducts recce's, he makes videos, he comes back with those videos, he goes to Pakistan, he shares the videos. Now, around all of this, when 2611 happened, eventually David Coleman Headley was arrested. But nobody knew of the ISI's link to the Copenhagen terror attack. There were reports of the Lashkar planning the attack with Headley. But for the first time, Republic TV has mails from the ISI handler, who India also exposed during the 2611 trial. And today, for the first time, he's revealing details of that plot. Shavan, what inputs are you picking up on this story?
Well, Niranjan, it's not just the National Investigating Agency, because remember, they were the ones who had basically carried out this entire, when the deposition of David Coleman Headley actually happened in Mumbai. That point in time, they had ensured that all the details that they had actually got from that very deposition was also shared with the other agencies concerned. with particular reference to Copenhagen. Remember, the intelligence bureau sources also indicating that there has been meetings that actually took place ahead of 26/11, so much so that his handlers, particularly it was Ilyas Kashmiri, who was actually handling this entire project. Also given the fact that there were certain meetings that took place in London and men who were supposed to be sent from London as far as this particular attack is concerned. But what went wrong was first the finance for this particular project is where the problem happened, and increased surveillance is what we are given to understand through our sources within the intelligence bureau why this particular attack couldn't take place. And that is something that the intelligence bureau here in India they were very well aware of. And the fact is that this entire deposition of David Coleman Headley did turn out to become a gold mine. And the fact today is that this entire link of the ISI with that of David Coleman Headley, and the very fact that they were planning to carry out attacks in the other parts of the world, was known to other agencies. But today what we are putting out for our viewers is essentially the proof, the link between ISI and David Coleman Headley and their entire sinister plot as to how they were planning to carry out the attacks. As far as the NI is concerned, remember, they have said that this entire deposition certainly helped also increasing the cooperation with the other agencies, because the other agencies have also utilized all the information that they gathered from this very deposition which took place in an Indian court.
Okay, let's get the first reactions to the breaking story here on Republic TV. We have Colonel V.N. Thapar, GJ Singh and Saurabh Shukla joining us on the breaking story. Colonel Thapar, if you've seen the details in the mail that Republic TV has been able to access for the first time, sir, a direct link between ISI, Hafiz Saeed and the Copenhagen attack. Pakistan's ISI, Hafiz Saeed and the Copenhagen terror attack. On the Mickey Mouse project. The Mickey Mouse project everybody spoke about for the first ever time. The Mickey Mouse project was a project that was, that was plotted, that was planned by the ISI. Here in this mail, David Coleman Headley is discussing the Mickey Mouse project with the ISI. He says, he's talking about Hafiz Saeed. He says we should find out if Vasi is also there. By the way, these are all code names. He says we should find out if Vasi is also there, guest or not, along with Chacha. Chacha is Hafiz Saeed. He says, send me the info on the Mickey Mouse project. Why is David Coleman Headley at this point, just after the 26/11 attacks, discussing the Mickey Mouse project with ISI? He says, and then the ISI responds to him about the Mickey Mouse project saying, I have discussed the matter with my cousin. He gave me some details about a businessman in Sweden. And this is important because some of the people who was arrested in Sweden were of Swedish origin, in Copenhagen rather, or were of Swedish origin. And he goes on to talk about native of M2, which can be of great help. Luckily, he's in the same business like us. He has contacts in the north. If you want details, I will send later. Colonel Thapar, what do you make of these emails?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that this is very conclusive evidence. I must also compliment Republic for, this extremely important story at this moment of time, when the fate of Hafiz Saeed is hanging on the balance. Whether he'll be put back in the jail or detained, it is very important, particularly from India's point of view, when so much pressure is being exerted by USA to send him back to the jail. Now, that is the most important thing. The other thing is that this evidence is no doubt a gold mine, but it is against the ISI and it is against the Pakistani state. If we think that that Shuja Pasha was acting on his own and the state was not involved, it will be a misunderstanding of the situation. The state was fully involved because the army and the ISI work under the okay of the state itself. So therefore, what is evidence, what is super evidence for us is how it is interpreted in the Pakistani court. As you have seen recently, all the evidence that we have given has been set aside and no cognizance of it has been taken. But nevertheless, at this moment of time, it has come as a great backup for our campaign against the state of Pakistan, which is the center, the hub, and like you said, the fountainhead of all terrorist activities, willy-nilly, in some form or the other, being associated. That this was a global kind of action is clear from the fact that we have had terrorist acts taking place in USA, in Europe, in the Middle East, in Africa, in Southeast Asia, and India and Pakistan, of course. So this is a global thing that is happening, radical Islam, and it must be taken seriously, and we must act against it. The whole world must come together to act against it.
You know, we spoke to the 2611 public prosecutor Ujjwal Nikam, and we asked him, I'm sorry, I was unable to gather I think a guest tried to intervene there, but I just want to give one breaking input that we're getting at this point from Ujjwal Nikam, the 2611 public prosecutor, someone who's been studying, who knows every code name, who knows what code name was a reference to whom, and he will tell you more about this, because this is a bigger plot that for God knows some reason has never been reported before. There was an attempt to suppress this information. This information and this email has never been shown before. It's never been seen before, it's never been shown before, it's never been reported before by the media, it's never been spoken about strangely by the government also. Only cursory mentions of the word Mickey Mouse, but never before has even the government, which had access to this back then, they didn't want to talk about this for some reason. Why didn't the UPA government, which had access to these emails, knew who the players were, ever go after Pakistan using this evidence? Was this shared? We don't know. Let's in fact play out the breaking reactions we're getting in from Ujjwal Nikam, who tells us the details of what these code words are and what they and who they are a reference to. In fact, the first time Ujjwal Nikam is talking about the Mickey Mouse project. Let's listen in.